Silence mode. How do I check? Speak.
या देवी सर्वभूतेषु शक्तिरूपेण संस्थिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः। या देवी सर्वभूतेषु मातृरूपेण संस्थिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः। या देवी सर्वभूतेषु मीरारूपेण संस्थिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः। पूज्य माँ भगवती, पूज्य Sri Arvind, you all are chosen children of our Divine Mother. The utmost unique process of living, the unique process of being in the existence, the unique process of being in manifestation, the unique process of being the instrumental molecule of the play of the divine as universe is so scientifically presented and projected, and that too on the basis of concrete, hard and stern reality of living. Why God became universe? Why divine became universe? Why God created universe? Why God enjoyed universe? Why God presented himself or herself or itself as universe? There is no gender to the divine. It is only the reality that is divine. It is only the concretization of Supreme is divine. It is only the consolidation of consciousness is divine. It is only the divinity that has been frozen as matter is divine. It is the divinity. As liquid gets itself frozen and it becomes ice. H2O is common. H2O is H2O, either in the drop of the water or in the vast of the ocean. But it is H2O. So the quality of H2O, the compounding of H2O, composition of H2O, the integrality of H2O is water, is divine. Composition of all different innumerable sparks of existencing got together, moved together, moving together, existing together is divine, is God. Anything that you cannot take its integral cognizance becomes imperfection on your part. You can look to the object, but you are imperfect. That is why you cannot look to the, while looking to the object, you cannot grasp it in toto. One portion, one part, one side that is not within your sight is automatically left out. You will have not to get it separated. You will not to get you will not to have cut it off. Still it is left out from your sight. Does not mean it does not exist. It exists, but your wavelength and the wavelength of the object is no well set. You are not in equilibrium with the object. You are not on the same pedestal of the object. Subject as such, you are standing, you are sitting somewhere, but the object you are looking at is located differently, and it creates difference. It creates distance. Difference is distance and distance is difference. You are different from me means what? You are breathing at some other distance, at some other location, in some other condition, in some other setup, in some other formation. The world is Bahushyam. These sort of varieties are innumerable varieties. You cannot calculate, nor you can imagine, because you are the part and parcel of it. It is the part that is living as a whole, but still whole is out of the sight of the part. Part cannot see the whole. Part can live only. But if you just try to penetrate into the quality of the part, you can have the right estimate of the quality of the whole. If you can taste the drop of a water, then you can come across, you can identify what water is. What is the basic and fundamental quality of water? If you start living your psychic, you can find out what is God, omnipotent, omnipresent, and omniscient. It is the drop. Psychic is the drop. But you start living the drop, you start living the quality of the drop, then only you will have a privilege to see the quality of vast quality of God. And thereafter possibilities are being automatically generated that you can be one with the God. You can be united with the God. That is unified field of Schopenhauer and Heisenberg. Relativity is imperfect. Schopenhauer tries to complete it. Relativity is incomplete. It's not MC square. It is all in all. It is infinite. It is everything. It is totality. E is equal to totality. E is equal to all. E is equal to omnipotent, omnipresent, omniscient. E is equal to divine. Where there is energy, energy is divine. Where there is energy, function of energy is divine. Where there is energy, the existence of energy is divine. Where there is energy, the manifestation of energy is divine. So divine is not out of us. Divine is not away from us. Divine is within us, without us, everywhere. That is how we can, though being a potential center, we can be instantly a circumference. That is our privilege. But our ignorance, our appropriate right understanding is not complete. And Mother says it is imperfection. It is imperfection. Purnat purnamidam purnameva vishishyate. Part of it is also whole. Part of it is also perfect. Lord Krishna is perfection. Purna Purushottam Paramatma. So why there is necessity of the Virat of 11th chapter? What is the necessity of it? Krishna is just face to face standing before Arjun. Arjun, I am Purna. I am perfect. I am Purna Purushottam Paramatma. You look at it. But Arjun is so habituated to see him as human being. Arjun is bound to see Lord Krishna also as human being, not as God before him. So the habit, it is the force of the habit that makes us imperfect. Though we are perfect, but it is the force of our habit at physical level, at vital level, at mental level. Because psychic is not within our range, though it is there, we are totally away from our psychic. We are totally away from our center. So we are not in a pattern. We are distorted. The thing that is within is not experienced. It means you are distorted. You are imperfect. You are not reality. You are non-entity. You are unreality. You are unreality. So these are the quotations, these are the connotations which are to be assimilated in such a way that we can come to the right, appropriate, usual, realistic meaning. Means it is the quality. It is the right taste. It is the right estimate. It is only the thing that our mind is motivated by the force of the habit. Either it is the force of the habit of the physicality, either it is the force of the habit of the animality, either it is the force of the habit of psychology. But it is the force of the habit that becomes our idea, and that becomes the force to operate our mind. If that artificiality as such, external exposition as such is stopped, then mind can start to generate its own nature. Mind can start generates its own quality. Mind can start generate its own appropriate destined function. We were animals. We are animals, and we are bound to be animals if our mind is not rightly and properly functioning. If our mind is rightly operated, appropriately operated, then we are human beings. Means our animality is over, and we have started a new step of ascent. We have started living a de novo step of our ascent. We are going nearer and nearer to the God to that extent. That is the reality. And Mother says, perfection and imperfection are always coexisting. See, perfection and imperfection are always coexisting. We are living, I am living. Who am I? I am my body. All right. I am my force, all right. I am my mind, all right. I am my psychic, all right. I am living. But when we look to mind, we forget our psychic. When we look to our vital, we forget our body. When we look to our body, we forget our psychic, mind and everything. Because our operation is imperfect. Our exercise is imperfect. If experiment is imperfect, scientist is bound to be imperfect. If experiment is incomplete, science practiced at that moment is imperfect. Scientist is there, laboratory is there, everything is there, but functioning is imperfect. Our function is imperfect. We are living imperfectly, so we are bound to be imperfect. If we try to live perfectly, then only we can claim what perfection is. And that is why Sri Aurobindo says all life is yoga. Yoga cannot be separated from life. Yoga cannot be separated from mind. Yoga cannot be separated from your physicality, vitality, mentality or animality, because you are matter. Because you are materialized consciousness. You cannot totally get free from the matter. Only you can simply employ matter to what extent it is needed for your manifestation. So God also accepted matter to manifest its divinity. It is the supreme consciousness that has accepted the matter, though imperfect it is, but for manifestation as means it is required. This is relativity. Relativity is a materialized divinity. Relativity is a materialized divinity, and that is why E is mc square. Non-E is not mc square. Non-entity is not mc square. It is the energy that is mc square. And that mc square is expanded, energy is also expanded. Mc square becomes omnipotent, energy also becomes omnipotent, because energy is omnipotent. Simply it is not made visible. God is omnipotent. It is not made visible. God is perfect. It is not made visible. Lord Krishna is perfect. But unless and until it is visible in perfection, Arjun can see Lord Krishna not as an ordinary relative, not as his friend. Arjun also could have seen Lord Krishna to be the supreme, to be the transcendental consciousness, to be the God. And that is why Lord Krishna was required to project himself in a different dimension before this limited mind of Arjun. Then only he could prove that Arjun, I am Lord Krishna, but I am this Virat too. So comparatively, Virat is supreme and Lord Krishna is limited. Virat is perfection, Lord Krishna is imperfection. Imperfection for what? Imperfection for the limited mind of Arjun. So imperfection and imperfection coexist. We have got no right to launch our complaint against imperfection. It is a stage. It is the part of the reality you will have to accept. Unless and until you start loving integrality, you cannot see the totality of the Supreme. You cannot experience the totality of Lord Krishna. You cannot see the totality of the Supreme God. This is what the one sentence. Perfection and imperfection are always coexisting. And not only simultaneously, but in the same place. Not in the simultaneously, not parallel, but in the same place. Where you can find perfection, imperfection is hidden. If you look to the perfection, perfection becomes visible and imperfection becomes invisible. If you look to that object otherwise, then the rest of the things will be visible, others will be invisible. In night the entire world disappears. Does not mean that world is dissolving. World has already dissolved. It is the darkness that has veiled the world. It is the darkness that has made visibility impossible at that time. So these are all different dimensions which are so working that our imperfect mind, our limited mind, our rational mind, our desire mind, our physical mind, our animalistic mind does not grasp it. We are still animals. Unless we give U-turn to our mind, we are animal. And human birth is given to us to cautiously and consciously, with the means of our mind, to make our mind perfect, to see the perfection, to imagine the perfection, to live the perfection that is God and that is life divine. To live divine is divinity. To live divine is reality. To live divine is heaven. To live divine is paradise. Paradise is not somewhere there beyond cosmos. Paradise is within us. Key is within us. Reality is within us. Master key is within us. Solution is within us. Try to find it out. It is body that is all in all. It is the body that is the whole of cosmos and something that is beyond cosmos even. It is there in our body. Bado bhag man ujatan pava. The pattern that has been given to us is so perfect that it is the microcosm of the macrocosm. It is the microcosm of the macrocosm. Macrocosm is God, macrocosm is divine, macrocosm is reality, and microcosm is the sample of reality, but you should try to find out the quality of the sample that has been given to you. Then you can come across the quality of the divine, potentiality of the divine, Trinity of the divine, living Sat, Chit and living Sattva, Rajas and Tamas, you can have the quality of Sat, Chit and Anand. This is the Trinity which has been given to us to have the estimate, to have the right estimate of Satchidanand. So invisibility will be over and Satchidanand will be visible to you. Satchidanand will be within you. Is not objectively visible. It is the realistically your I. It is the realistically your personality. It is the realistically yourself. You can have it. Your soul is divine. Your soul is God. Your soul is Lord Krishna and your soul is Virat too. It's not merely a soul. Anuraniyan Mahatto Mahiyan. You are as small as atom, but you are as Virat as cosmos. In the same place, I don't know how to say it. See, I feel that how can I express you? How can I express you? But Divine Mother also says that it is very inexpressible. I cannot express. How to say it? Here Mother puts the palm of her hands together and there imperfection and perfection are so folded together that it becomes reality. Nothing is non-entity, nothing is unreality, everything is reality. Yomam pasyati sarvatra sarvam cha mahi pashyati tasyaham na pranasyami sacha me na pranasyati. That is what it is called Amin in Islam. Anal Haq in Islam. Hakikat is there. Fact of life is there. But truth of life is hidden. Truth of life is hidden. If you can come across the truth of life, you can have claim over the fact of life. And you can have scientifically relationship with the concrete reality of matter. Matter is a materialized spirit and spirit is a spiritualized matter. Though spiritualized, totally spiritualized, but is matter. Consciousness is the absolute format, absolute form, absolute existence of matter. Absolute, pure and perfect existence of matter is consciousness. Consciousness is not merely a force, and that is why Sat, Chit, Anand. Chit is kept in center. Sat is at one end of the reality. Anand is at the another end of the reality. Chit is in the center because psychic is in the center of your materialized body. And it can operate matter in such a way that it can manifest in each and every cell of your body. That is what the Truth Mother found for the first time ever in the history of the existence. Which means that at any time and in any circumstances you can attain perfection. See, if you have got the right approach, if you have got the right expansion, if you have got the right just elevation, multidimensional expansion, you can get the perfection, you can have the perfection. It is the center that gets expanded into the circumference. But the interaction between center and the circumference becomes the master pattern. That is the true geography. We don't have the interaction between our center and circumference. We have interaction with our mind, and with our mind means the dots which are put there in the circle. If you can attach yourself with the dot put in the circle, you are not perfect. You will have to get your center to be interacted with the circumference. Center to be straight line in put in same wavelength with the circumference. Then you can have the experience of the totality of the space covered by your own circle. Space covered by our own circle is the whole of universe. Arjun, see that I am Virat, where everything and anything in existence and everything in existence has already been included in me. I am the creator, I am the sustainer, I am the destroyer. But it is not the destruction, it is the change, it is the parivartan, it is the velocity. It's not the static condition. Static condition is there, but dynamism is also there. Static and dynamic both live together, both go together. It is not something that must be required gradually. It is not something that must be required gradually. That one stage is over, now we'll go to the second stage. Second stage is over, we'll go to the third stage. No, in a flash. In a flash. If you can change your operation, if you can change your focus, if you can change your concentration, and if you start assimilating all these things at a time, you can. Because your psychic is potential enough, your psychic is perfection, your psychic is the atom of perfection, Anuro Raniyan, can be Mahto Mahiyan instantly. Instantly. Through a gradual progress, perfection is an absolute state. Through gradual progress, you cannot get it. Practicing, seeing, assimilating the absoluteness of your consciousness, you can come across the absoluteness of your matter. Any organ which has been given and granted to us is divine. Any organ is divine. Sin itself is a divinity. Sin itself is a divinity because it is operative, it is operation, it is the function of one particular gesture of your body. It is your mind that has distinguished it to be seen and punya, seen and goodness. It is the observer. In the eyes of the observer, beauty lies. Beauty does not lie in the object, it is in the eyes of the observer. Observer can impose indirectly. Observer can impose unconsciously beauty in the object. And that object seems to observer beautiful. If we can see God in anything and everything, we can have the same experience. Same experience in the whole of the manifestation. If we look to the plant as plant, if we look to the stone as stone, if we look to the earth as earth, where quality, hidden quality of H2O is absent there, but it is not absent virtually. It is there, it is not only seen by you, it is the drawback on the part of the observer, it is not drawback on the part of the element that is existing. This is new physics. Perfection is an absolute state you can attain at any time. Perfection is an absolute stage you can attain at any time. It is your birthright. And only man can do it. Only human being can do it. Only human being can have this privilege to live as God. To live as God. Yatra Yogeshwaro Krishna, Yatra Partho Dhanurdhara, Tatra Sri Vijayor Bhurti Dhruvani Nitir Matir Mamaha. If you start living Gita, you will have the real start of Savitri. If you start living Gita, you will have the real startup of Vedas. If you start living Gita, if you start living proximity of Krishna and Arjuna together at the same time, on the same spot, on the same space, then you can start experiencing Anal Haq of Islam. Satchidanand. Living in Sattva, Rajas and Tamas, you can have Satchidanand in practice. No contradiction. Provided your starter is working appropriately. Provided your regulator, your mind is working appropriately. Provided your mind has become crystallized instrument. If it works as crystallized instrument, you can have the reality. Non-entity is no longer a non-entity for you. Does not mean it might be a non-entity for others, but you are living in such an unique way that the experience that you can assimilate becomes automatically unique. And if you start seeing divinity in any and every object, you can be divine. You can be divine. Perfection is an absolute state you can attain at any time. And so the conclusion is very interesting. When truth manifests, that is the other state. When truth manifests, that is the other state. You are living as part and parcel of non-entity, you are non-entity. But if you can change your state of consciousness and enter into another room, you can be the part and parcel of that another room. Another room is Satchidanand. Another room is Anal Haq. Another room is total bliss. Another room is perfect Anand. Another room is Virat. You can be Virat. You can be Virat. Perfection is and so the conclusion is very interesting. This is conclusion. When truth manifests, that is the other state, the vibration of falsehood disappears. The vibration of non-entity disappears. The vibration of unreality disappears. The vibration of mortality disappears. And there lies the immortality. There lies the immortality. When truth manifests, the vibration of falsehood disappears. It is cancelled out as if it had never existed before the vibration of truth replacing it. You see, truth is here, falsehood is there. You see, truth is here, falsehood is there. Falsehood is out of your purview. Falsehood is out of your range. Falsehood is foreign to you. Truth is your hidden reality. Try to live this reality, Satprem. Truth is with you. Perfection is here. Imperfection is there. Perfection is here. Imperfection is there. If your instrument is regulating the stuff that has been given to you, the pedestal that has been given to you, the elements which have been given to you, let them be properly, unique way integrated, then your psychic will be seen, psychic will be experienced, and psychic will be made operative to give you the right communic with the divine. Divine will start living within you and you will be divine. આજે બરોબર 33 મિનિટ થઈ.
સર 1 મિનિટ પછી તમે બોલજો એટલે પેલો કેમેરો ઓફ થઈ જાય.
હા
થઈ ગયો. હા, પરફેક્ટ.